Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Metabreakers Podcast, episode 32. D-Money will be appearing shortly, but while we're waiting, we have Warshack, our gracious host, master of meme decks, and myself, your Demon Hunter adept, here to talk to you about some groovy news. And D-Money is here as well on his own stream.
Welcome. From the darkness.
Sorry, I had to turn my lights on, but I'm here.
How are you guys doing? Did you have a good Halloween?
Yeah, it was. I dressed up as a hunter for Halloween, if you guys saw, and played the spookiest game I know, Hearthstone. And that was really it. And then I just ate snacks and watched random YouTube videos and slept a lot. It was really
kind of nice.
It was fun. How about you, Rob?
Well, we didn't have obviously a big gathering because the whole thing going on, but we had a little group of people come over. We had copious amounts of water, and the kind of just hung out and had a little bonfire. Still recovering from all that water we drank, and
oh yeah, you can go outside because you're
fun.
in Florida. It's not cold.
Yeah, it was actually really nice outside last night. So we made a little fire in the back, and it was cool. It was cool. So
yeah, we did a similar thing. We had 3 people that live in our apartment complex that we already interact with on a regular basis just come through, and we had some spoopy drinks, and we just listen to some cool music, watch some spoopy movies. Had a good night, you know?
Damn, you guys are making me sound really lame over here. Not gonna lie.
Well, I'm sure your parents were super
You
hyped.
played Hearthstone. That's scary enough. I mean, especially if you played against a priest. I mean,
I definitely did. Yeah, I did lose a lot of ranks, and that was really scary. So,
really, what'd you go down to?
I probably ended the season at 600 or something.
Ooh, I ended higher than D-Money
you.
this season. What a great day.
I mean, I was playing the memeiest decks in the world, so I was playing Highlander Demon Hunter at one point. All right, that's when you know I really gave up.
That's true.
But
you need to give a shot to the quest battle cry tempo dragon shaman. Let me tell you, that's a good time.
Dude, that sounds pretty crazy. I was watching you play that. That was a really cool deck, man.
It was actually doing really well. It's just so hard to play because of all the 1-drops you get from Spellkins and Wand Thieves, and knowing what to pick. As I played it over and over and over again, my win rate just steadily did better. Obviously, it's still a terrible deck, but it's actually a deck that you can get. There's room to improve. You know what I mean? It's not
or is
there
games? Is there broom to improve?
Yeah. No broom.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. No, broom would probably be really good in there.
Yeah,
even
that
though
is
the
a bad
battle cry
cry.
wouldn't trigger twice. Yeah. That's not a bad idea for the dragon. So the meta.
Dude, when you were playing Highlander Demon Hunter, all I could think about is because people always come into my stream and they always ask me about that deck. They're like, can we play Highlander Demon Hunter? And then I have to explain to them why it's not good. And then you just turn around and start doing it anyway, in top 500 legend. And then I'm like, oh man, people are gonna start asking me this question all over again after I just finished explaining for the past 3 months why we don't do it.
Yeah, you're lucky I didn't post it on Twitter, or else then people would really be Draco, did you see that new list? Draco.
Did you see the Highlander Demon Hunter?
It doesn't even run Dragon Queen Alexstrasza. This list sucks, but you should play it. Let's go.
Yes. Dude, really weird story about Highlander Demon Hunter, but I made a Highlander Soul Fragment Demon Hunter just to be kind of that guy, because it's stupid. It doesn't work because the fragments ruin the Zephyrs, right?
Doesn't matter.
And I put DQA in it too.
Oh.
And then I played a couple games on EU Legend with it, and I went 7-0 with it. And it didn't even make sense. The problem, the way it was working too, was because I was getting lucky with every circumstance. It would be okay, I would play Soul Shear to clear a minion, right? And then the next draw would be a Soul Fragment and Zephyrs. I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's go.
Easy.
And it would be like lethal or something too, or it's like everything just lined up for this to work out. It was funny.
That's Highlander and Hearthstone. Yeah, we could talk about the meta, I guess. We got the meta right in front of us, guys. If you see on the screen on the bottom there, this is across all win rates. And then after we discuss this meta, we will get into the top decks of the top 1K legend across all servers. But for now, we're just looking at the breakdown across every rank. And it looks, I mean, right now, I mean, I'm in bronze right now, so this applies to me, right? But yeah, we see, I don't know if it's really changed too much. What do you say, Draco?
I'm looking at it in the comparison right now, and trying to see if anything looks different. And
well, I can
go ahead.
I was gonna say I can see why my rank dropped roughly 8,000 legend points in the past 3 days, because the only classes I played are at the absolute bottom of this list. I exclusively played Warlock, Shaman, and then Quest, Tempo Mage with Worm Weavers, and I knew it was bad, but I truly didn't understand the catastrophe that is what I'm staring at right
I
here.
watched you playing that, and you were like, "This deck isn't even bad, and I'm just losing every game." I'm like, what's happening? And
it feels good though.
No, honestly, a lot of decks feel good that aren't like that you can't consistently win with. Like I've been playing Quest Warlock, and like it feels really good, and like I do win like a decent amount of games, but there's like a lot of these decks actually do, like even my Highlander Warrior deck, I still feel like it feels good, but it's just like the power level of the decks that are at the top are just like on another level, in my opinion. Like these other decks are still like good, solid decks, but the power level of the whole entire game right now is just like so high that like it's so hard to even meme around with anything, because like, or like slightly meme, like play like something that's kind of off meta, because you're just going to queue up against a tryhard playing Control Priest, and you're going to be like, bro, like, come on.
Yeah. I think that honestly, the reason that it is like that too is because you're either going to build a deck that is like aggressive and you give your opponent's shit to answer, or you build a deck that answers your opponent's shit, right? Or a little bit of both. And there's so many high value target threats in all of these decks that if you're going to play control against any of these things, it's like impossible to bring the right cards to answer everything. Like Paladin is insane with the amount of like taunt, divine shields, the braggarts, the 4/5 things. Like it's just really hard to get through that stuff. And then like Rogue with it now runs like double questing adventure, Edwin, they have Jandis. Like the amount of ways that the aggressive decks can build things that need to be answered is just obscene now. Like there's like 9 win cons with cards in the deck now. And like, that's like half the deck or a third of the deck. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard.
We used to have a couple cards like that. Like basically what I call them is when you play this, if it doesn't die, you win. And previously we had some cards like this, like Flappy Bird, for example, the old 3 mana, 3/3 when it attacks, it would adapt, right? And if you just didn't kill that card over like 1 to 2 turns, you could just lose, right? Because you get Wind Fury plus attack, Divine Shield, it would just go absolutely nuts. And you mentioned like we just have more cards that if left unchecked, your opponent just wins. And you can't possibly have an answer every single game, every single mana curve the whole time, right? So
yeah,
it's just that we're at one of those points that the power, like for Hunter, if you get Phase Stalker left unchecked, it's so many values, secrets. Rogues have the new 2 mana guy with the secrets, and then you have the Catapult left unchecked is like 7 damage a turn. So it's just like so many cards that are just so good that it's hard to compete with the meme decks.
Yeah, the only reason that like Demon Hunter and Warrior actually are like doing well is because they don't even play that minion centric plan where like you build a whole bunch of threats, and their actual ability is the fact that they can just consistently go face every turn, and like that gets them there. But it's interesting how like those two kinds of concepts of playing fit in the other concept against like the priests and the hunters and the mages. and the rogues that are just like putting down these targets that you have to deal with immediately or you lose. It's interesting, but
yeah, you're saying like there's a lot of control, and then there's a lot of like face, like aggro kind of decks. You really don't see too much in between, and that's kind of for a good reason, because if you don't kill a control deck fast enough, then they're just gonna control the hell out of you and control you out of the game. And if you're not, if you can't control enough to the point where you have like you're generating infinite resources to keep up with like Control Warrior or Galakron Priest, then there's no way that you can win the long matchup. So that's why it feels like you can't play like specific decks in this meta, or else, I mean, you can certainly win with them still if you queue up against the right matchup, sure. But there's going to be a lot of matchups that just feel pretty unwinnable if you're playing a certain kind of deck, like a mid-rangey deck. And I feel like that's why a lot of decks that feel good, feel like they're solid decks, you just can't play them right now.
Yeah, I think it's okay to go into the top 1K section now while we do this. A lot of people have been asking me, and I've seen it a lot now, is like, obviously the question of today is the first day of the new season. It's like, what deck should I climb with this season? And the answer to that question for me is always what you're good at, because like I could play, like you could play any of these things, right? Like Stealth Rogue, Bomb Warrior, Soul Demon Hunter, Broom, Highlander Hunter, Control, Bomb, whatever you want. It's all good enough to get there. But in the actual reality of it is like the only way that you get an edge over these other decks is if you're good at what you're playing. And the only way that happens is if you kind of stick with something and learn it really well. So
yeah, I mean, you want to definitely play something that you're good at, and then you also want to make sure that it works around the decks that you're queuing into. I mean, if you're only queuing against Priest and Demon Hunter, then maybe you should switch into something that's good against those decks. Which I don't even know what to tell you for that one.
Wait, if you're queuing into Priest and Demon Hunter, let's think about that. What is good against that? Oh, that would mean you should play some Mali Druid. Boom. Yes. That's it. Right?
That's an incredibly hard deck to play correctly.
That is a really hard deck to play. Yeah. I guess like you could do like the Survival Druid, and that'd be good too.
Yeah, I would recommend that over the Mali one for sure. The Survival, you play the 10-mana card, you get stuff out, you win game. Yeah, Mali Druid requires combo.
Ysera is just hard for Demon Hunter and Priest to deal with, and Druid's just favored against Demon Hunter always. So yeah, that would be the answer. That we figured that out.
And to elaborate a little bit, chat, on what D-Money and Draco were saying about like if you feel more comfortable with the deck. So let's say you just like you want to absolutely grind as much as you can. You want to hit Legend. You see Highlander Hunter is the best deck right now, right? Highest win rate. And then you queue with Highlander Hunter, but you're not really that good with it. You're not familiar with it. You know what I mean? That 1 extra % between like a Highlander Hunter and let's say you really like Bomb Warrior, that 1 extra % isn't worth your skill of you knowing how to play that Bomb Warrior. So Bomb Warrior would overall be the better pick for you. Granted, your experience with the deck, you'll enjoy playing it. And the whole point about Hearthstone is, you enjoy playing the game, right? You don't want to sit there and be miserable playing a deck you're not familiar with or don't want to play versus like another one of these tier 1 tier decks that you enjoy more, but is seemingly not as high. But your skill should make up for that difference. So hopefully that, for those of you who have any questions on that helped out a little bit.
Yeah, just get more skill, chat. Really well. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That wasn't the point. Oh. So we see like a lot of the decks that we've been seeing in the past, like Highlander Hunter, Broom Paladin, Control Warrior being at the top, but now we see Stealth Rogue coming back into the scene for tier 1 here. Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're not really expecting Stealth Rogue and then you mulligan for maybe secrets, then I could see it getting like a bit more of an advantage there. And like we've seen like Stealth Rogue die down, I think, a bit, but I mean, it seems to be doing quite well, and sometimes face is the place. I mean,
and Galakron Rogue is now becoming like pretty popular where I'm playing too, so I wouldn't ever mulligan directly just straight for Stealth Rogue. It would probably just like catch me. Yeah,
exactly. Galakron Rogue has become very popular. I've played against it quite a bit. And I guess
man, they're all 3 in the top right there. We have Stealth Rogue, Galakron Rogue, and Weapon Rogue.
Yeah, Yeah, I was gonna point out we have 3 rogue decks and 3 warrior decks,
Yep.
all within like a span of 7 decks. So warrior and rogue seems to be like, if you like those classes and you want a little diversity in the deck, those are not bad picks because you have the option between, if you like rogue, weapon rogue, Galakron and stealth, and if you like warrior, you've got control, bomb, and enrage, which are all very different. They play very, very different. So
Yeah, I was going through my stats of like the season to see like what my entire like win rate was against all the classes, and I was really surprised to find that I was negative, like pretty noticeably negative against Rogue, playing Demon Hunter all the time. And
wow,
I thought about it for a while as to like why this was the case, because that's kind of weird, right? And I figured it out. It was because I can't ever tell what rogue I'm playing against to do the mulligan correctly. So like, because every single one of these different rogue decks has a different Demon Hunter mulligan for it. And like, so whenever I think I know what I'm playing against, I'll change it, right? Like it'll be like, okay, this guy is definitely playing this happened to me on ladder 2 days ago. I played against a guy who was playing Galakron Rogue, right? And then I beat him. And then I matched a queued into him 3 games later, and he was playing Stealth Rogue. And I was like, dude, are you serious? Because in my hand, I had a Jailer, I had a Mystic, and I had the Eldrazi Warblades in my hand. So, and I threw the Eldrazi Warblades because I assumed it was going to be Galakron Rogue again. But then he just went for my face the entire time and killed me. And I was like, dude, like, how am I supposed to know what to do when I can't tell what deck they're playing, even when I think I have the knowledge? It's hard, man.
So in that situation, I would consider Weapon Rogue and Stealth Rogue to be the more similar than Gallo, right? Gallo's pretty slow in general, while the Weapon and the Stealth are more aggressive, and that's 2 out of the 3 being aggressive. So maybe rule of thumb, just like assume it's aggressive based on 2 out of the 3 times it will be, unless you know like what he's playing due to games prior.
Yeah, I mean it's
maybe
tough, man.
I mean, I don't know. I was just asking. That was just a question, like, of maybe helping people who also are have the same questions or seen the same thing.
Yeah,
Just
but
asking
the
for a
thing is,
friend, yeah.
Galakron Rogue is becoming so popular in like my pocket meta. Like I'm playing a whole bunch of it, so it's not really normal for me to get a weapon rogue or a stealth one, unless I like queue into like Jay Alexander, and then we know he's playing one of the aggressive formats instead of the Galakron one, because that's what he does lately.
Yeah,
little shade in that.
Do you think so?
You were like, that's
no,
all
I mean,
he does.
really well.
Yeah. And then, sometimes you'll even encounter like a thief rogue out of nowhere, and then they'll just generate the win on you. You never really know. And that is a thing that does give those classes an advantage, saying that warrior and rogue, they do have those different archetypes, which you really don't really know what you're playing against, and that definitely does make it tougher, and it just gives them an inherent advantage. But we could talk about how rogue is sneaky all day long. But I kind of want to see. I have some statistics here. Speaking about Jay Alexander, I have some statistics of last month. The legend. How many people reached legend here? So
did you say speaking of him, because then you were talking about statistics, because he always like posts things about his statistic? Is that the
exactly?
Just to clarify for chat why that joke was funny.
Thank you. When you have to explain a joke, it makes it a lot less funny, Draco. But
yeah, well, that's gonna go over everyone's head, man. Like,
yeah, I'm just joking with you. Yeah, I had to explain that one too, so now that one's not funny either. But no, I'm kidding. But yeah, so right here we see a breakdown of the October Legend stats here, and it looks like in total 26% fewer players reached Legend in October compared to September. So I mean, I feel like we could directly correlate that to a lot of people being bored with the current meta. There is the new game mode Duels that is out right now that people are probably playing a lot of. And yeah, people are probably just bored and just playing other games as well. Maybe they just hit Legend and they go to something else. I mean, well, that doesn't really correlate to this, but maybe they just don't really care about Legend for this season. You know, it really didn't mean anything because top 16 didn't even get anything. So kind of makes sense. But here you see a little breakdown. I mean, even in wild mode, there's a decrease as well. So
I think there's a lot of reasons that this was the case. I mean, in September, there was reason to play because Skullomance came out in the like kind of early August. It was like kind of almost mid-August. But like by the time the nerfs hit that were going to be really substantial at like changing some of the best decks, like what were the nerfs that we had in August and in September? Like
Solarian.
No, that was the last one. There was like I think the other one was like Guardian Animals being raised to 8.
Ah, yes.
Lucia, I think.
Oh yeah, Lucia, that happened as well. And Turtle got destroyed. Yeah, so like previously in the September meta, you could play like all these decks and they're all kind of new. And the change ups were just like deleting one deck from existence, making Tempo Mage into the point where it's not bad, but it's almost bad. And now and Guardian Animals was nerfed. So there was like reason to keep playing in September from the August meta because the really powerful decks got hit and there was big shakeups. But the last nerf didn't really shake much up at all, you know, like Evocation and Solarian.
Yeah, I mean the meta changing and cards changing, that definitely makes people want to keep playing the game because it's something different now that's happening and they could change up their decks and all their strategies and stuff. And that's kind of why we probably see Hearthstone announcing that there's going to be these mini expansions within each expansion. So like halfway through an expansion, there's going to be a mini set of 35 cards being released, and that makes sense because they can see themselves like the people are getting bored with the game, and like yes, they want people to play duels and battlegrounds and all that, but I mean this might just make people, like a lot of people that play standard, they might not play these other modes and they might just go to other games because they're just completely bored of the game itself.
Mm-hmm. I like that thing they're doing a lot.
What, the mini sets?
Yeah, I like the mini sets. I like the Galakrond Awakening was the last time we had something kind of like this, right? Like,
and we like that, right? I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I didn't like the actual content.
Yeah.
But I liked that 5 new cards came out every week. That was exciting.
Yeah.
And it was kind of hard to figure out the impact of those cards at first. You know, like we got Rottenest Drake, and then we were just like, shit, does Dragon Hunter work? And then we were like, it works now. Like really good. This thing like destroys. This is an amazingly aggressive deck and it's really good. Remember that? And then Amazing Reno came out, and then the Mana Saber came out at the same time, which suddenly turned Highlander Mage into a badass deck again. And it was
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, of course he did.
But yeah, I mean they should have been doing this the whole time. I'm surprised it took them so long. Like they used to do it more consistently, I feel, right?
Yeah, I mean they've done some stuff like that in the past. But like looking at like for those of you familiar with like Magic releases a brand new expansion every 3 months. So that's 4 expansions a year. And to have 3 expansions a year with nothing in between, like staleness was bound to happen. I mean, this isn't something new. So them addressing it like this is good.
Yeah,
and
I mean it's also
something in there.
It's also a big difference because it's not like it's going to be 5 cards every week, something like that. It's actually just 35 cards being released at once, and they're going to be in the packs now. So
yeah, I think there could be a better way to that. I know you can craft them right off the bat, right? And they come in the packs, but you don't want to I guess with the whole no duplicate protection, right? If you buy the packs, it's like buying a special pack that only includes the new cards if you already have all the cards, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So okay. All right. So I was thinking of like, why didn't they have like a special pack that like more like higher chance to get the new cards for players? But I guess because of the duplicate protection, I guess that just doesn't even matter. They don't need to do that, right?
That means there's actually going to be a really good strategy to opening your packs now. So once you start noticing that you're getting like epic duplicates, then and you what you could do if you have like dust left over is you could craft the legendaries you want and you don't have, save the rest of the packs for when the next 35 come out.
I don't
then
think they'll
open
work
them,
like that.
and then you'll get all of them. Like,
Yeah,
potentially.
I think the packs save as when you purchase them. I don't think that the packs themselves would update with the new cards. Or if
I
so,
think they
then that
do.
idea is very
Yeah,
good.
that's actually proven
do?
to be the case.
Yep.
Yep.
Really?
The
Like,
packs
really?
They
are
should. Yeah.
the packs give what they're giving the second you drag them over. That's when it's decided.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's very
Like,
it's very free to play friendly, this change, and that's very nice because I know a lot of people did complain. Like a lot of people, like, I'm sure, come into your streams as well and would be like, oh, like I don't have Mana Saber and like I don't want to buy the whole entire like mini set. So like it really made people upset, like that they would have to buy this just for like one card or two cards that they would want. So this whole thing makes it a lot easier on people on their wallets, and it's just I think it's a really good change.
It's probably a good
That's
change.
a really good point.
The way I realized this was because, for instance, Sid, who only streams Hunter, Sidisi, he like when he bought that Rexar bundle, that had like the five Hunter cards packs, he didn't open those packs because he already had all the Hunter cards. So that when he gets when the next expansion comes out and he opens them, it's more likely that he's going to get the new Hunter legendaries and epics in them than going through normal packs.
Oh.
Yeah, and then you have people like me that just like, if I see a pack in my thing, I have to open it. All right, come on. Like, I'm not waiting. Let's be real. I need that instant gratification. I'm a real American, okay, guys?
I'm kind of like you too, man. Like, I also have the problem too, where it's like, if I want to play with a unique card in my Demon Hunter deck, since the deck is entirely golden, that I have to make that card golden too. And that's like very, very like ridiculous. It was like, okay, I'm going to put Sneaky Delinquent in the deck. And then I'm like, okay, I don't have a golden Sneaky Delinquent, so I need to make a Sneaky Delinquent golden. Like, that whole circumstance. It's like, oh, maybe I'll try two. And it's like, oh, now I got to make two golden.
Oh, yeah. Now you're speaking my language.
So looking at, like, I just want to look at the graph,
Yeah.
like, and ask a question one more time. So I think relevant information that's missing are like total players, but obviously they like won't give that information. But that's very relevant because then you can compare percentages. Like, are the legend players who hit legend still hitting legend? Is just like less players overall, or is like what is that percentage shared to total players overall? And then also between like April and June, like we hit like a really big drop off total, and then like the new expansion coming out, right, July, August, and then we see like that August to October drop again. But that original April to June drop is like significantly steeper, or looks much worse than like the more recent drop. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
interesting.
well, that was with like Demon Hunter first coming out, right? That we saw like all those people getting legend. Okay, what is that little laugh over there, Drake? I mean,
jeez.
We had talked about it on the podcast, I believe, when that had happened. I think we were doing the podcast at that point.
Yeah, we started the podcast in March, so
yeah,
Ashes came out afterwards. So we
yeah,
went through the
so
whole
like
entire thing.
when Demon Hunter first came out, it was super overpowered, and a lot of people were getting to Legend that have never been to Legend because they're playing with overpowered cards, or that definitely aided them. I want to say, not to say that like playing Demon Hunter was just easy, but it definitely seemed a lot easier than other classes, and a lot of people were just getting there for the first time that whole entire season, and that's when we saw like an insane amount of people in Legend. I don't even remember how many. It was a crazy amount. So I feel like as the game gets more balanced, we're gonna see a lot less people reaching Legend. But still, I feel like yes, the game is balanced, but it's still just that staleness factor really getting in there. But we do have another thing to talk about here, so we're getting closer. So speaking about the staleness, we got the new expansion coming out very soon, and we have some exciting news coming here. We got the pre-launch party for Dark Moon Fair. Oh, yeah. So there's gonna be Twitch drops. There's gonna be, I think the Twitch drops are, I think they're talking about what's going on right now. And then there's the 500 mega bundles that they're giving away. That's a lot of mega bundles, and each mega bundle is $80 each. So that's a lot of stuff there. And then there's 6,000 gifted subs.
That's $40,000 worth of packs.
That's a lot.
And
yeah,
the gifted subs thing is so freaking weird. I'm sorry. Like, it doesn't specify where they're gifting the subs to. So, and you know what they're going to do, because Play Hearthstone has done this before, where they'll go into like a popular Hearthstone streamers community and then they'll like gift like 100 subs or something, right? That's like with someone who owns the Play Hearthstone channel from Blizzard, they do that. And that's what's going to happen here. You know, like whoever's watching Kripparrian is going to like see Play Hearthstone gift like 1,000 subs or something, and they're going to get a sub that way. But I don't know. I guess that's exciting.
Yeah, so we were talking about this a little bit before the stream, and it's like, wow, like this is really good, like they're giving away like all this stuff, but then it's like you have people like us, streamers like us, like DracoCatt, Warshack, and I, that it's there. So there's only this specific list of streamers right here that are actually getting these subs. And you just have to be selected. They're probably just going based on like the top viewership numbers, and yeah, I kind of feel like it's really like the rich are just getting richer. You know, there's no opportunity for me to get one of these subscriptions. You know, it's just here's all the people that are gonna get them, and we're
Just
giving away
get good.
6,000. Yeah, just get your numbers up, and then maybe we'll give you some subs next time, bro.
Yeah, I don't
So-
really mean to be negative, but the other problem with this kind of stuff is like on these days, if I'm going to be streaming at the same time as this pre-launch
lose.
party, like why would anyone watch me when you could watch someone play with all the new cards and get a mega bundle? Like, really? Like, why would someone want to watch me play like last season's decks when they can watch new cards and get mega bundles? Like,
and
what?
And get
you
the
can't
subs, yeah.
compete. So the business side of things, like they have selected what they believe to be the best ROI, return on investment, on like, hey, these are people who bring in numbers. We want people to, you know, play Hearthstone, be interested in Hearthstone again, get people watching Hearthstone, you know, possibly pre-order if they didn't get a pack, but their buddy got a mega bundle. You know what I mean? So there's like the reason that they've selected these people based on numbers, which as the business side does make sense, but it doesn't, you know, for us, it still, you know, feels bad because like Draco said, it's going to be really rough streaming on these days, knowing that like we have other players who are literally just playing with the cards we wish we could be playing with, and being able to provide our viewers with, you know, $40,000 worth of bundles and $30,000 worth of gifted subs. And you know, maybe one day they'll do something Hearthstone channel wide. You know, I mean, just anybody streaming Hearthstone is eligible to participate. Just watch whatever favorite streamer you want. You have a chance to get a mega bundle or whatever the case may be. But for now, this is what we have. And I don't know if it's better than nothing. I don't know how you'd fix this to make it more fair, or to still keep the exclusivity of like the big streamers being able to get people to come watch Hearthstone, while also being able to have the viewers watch who they want and have those players do what they, you know, to not feel so behind. Because I know on YouTube, it is really hard to compete when you're like a week or two behind, and other people get to play all the new decks, and you're pretty far behind. And it's just like, well, a lot of people already did this already. Rip. So
right.
that's my
Yeah.
take.
I feel like, yeah, it's definitely they should like give back to like the other members of the Hearthstone community. That would be cool if they could like shine a light on those people as well, like something with the gift itself. I don't know, it feels pretty like as a streamer that's not on this list, like I know I'm like pretty far away from this list, but just like
I think
seeing this announcement, like this doesn't get me excited at all, and like I don't even want to like talk about it at all, because it's just like on my stream, because it's just like, okay, like this means nothing to me. The only positive thing that could come from this is that that people get hyped about Hearthstone, and then they come to me afterwards, and we have a good time. You know,
You're
that's
secondhand.
pretty much.
Yeah.
I'll take the sloppy seconds,
Budget
bro,
money.
honestly.
I mean, I think, yeah, the most important thing is that we acknowledge what the overall goal of this pre-launch party is. And that is ultimately to get more people interested in Hearthstone and back into the game. And that overall is a net win for everyone here involved. You know what I mean? Like, we want more people to play Hearthstone. We want people to love the game like we love the game. And we want, you know, our favorite game to be everyone's favorite game, because it just makes a lot of what we do more relevant. And this is what the goal is here. That's why they have these giant streamers doing within all of these drops and all this money and stuff that everyone can get. It's just so that more people will get involved and get back into the game and fall in love with Hearthstone. So that's great. But the thing that's exceptionally shitty for me is, outside of being a Hearthstone streamer, I'm also a Hearthstone player. And I want to look at the cards. I want to see the new cards. I want to see how they function. I want to know how they work, like, as soon as I can. That's like amazing content for me. I eat it up, you know? And I'm going to end up watching this, even though it's like sabotaging me simultaneously. Like, and I know I'm going to. Like,
gonna be eating some ice cream out of a like one of those like pint containers, and just like
yeah. As much as we can whine about it and stuff, it's like, I want to see if like the new Demon Hunter cards are actually shit, or if they're good. So I am going so that, like, when I'm building decks to give to my community for the start of the game, that I know what I'm talking about. And I have to basically skip around and figure out who's playing Demon Hunter all day long. And I will probably end up doing that. And it's just a bummer that I like have to contribute into this thing that's also kind of fucking me.
You know? All right, we gotta watch it. We gotta get the bundle, and then we give away the bundle we got on our stream. Fight power with power.
Hey, you know, they're actually giving away, so as part of the bundles that they're giving away, they are giving away some for deck builders, which I think is interesting.
What?
On Reddit, they're having a contest. So after the reveal on the 11th, then they're going to choose the top 20 that are most upvoted, and they're going to get a mega bundle code. And then they're also giving away 100 mega bundles for separate giveaway that we don't know about yet. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool, and I think I'm going to enter that, and I'm going to make like 20 decks. And maybe I'll get all 20 at the top, and I'll get all those sweet codes to give away. And we're going to have our own pre-launch party over here, guys. What's up?
Yes. Yeah, I think, yeah. I mean, I like the deck building contest idea. That's exciting.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't really understand the criteria as to how you judge, like, because if you get a whole bunch of entries and you can only have 30 cards in a deck, like, how creative can they be? You can
also
Reddit's
say
Reddit's gonna be a mess.
You can also say, like, you know, maybe the top streamers are just gonna win these too, because they're gonna be like, yo guys, upvote my decks, bro. Upvote my decks on here.
I mean, that's if you get a streamer with like over 2,000 people and you just like flick over to Reddit and be like, yo, by the way, I just posted a deck here. I'm not telling you to upvote it, but if you just happen to take a look at it, like getting 500 upvotes on Reddit, like you're gonna blast to the front page. So, but I'm pretty sure that's against like the Reddit rules. But like, if you don't specifically tell them to do it, you just like show it on your screen. You're not saying anything about it. So, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows, man? But either way, new expansion hype. Aren't we excited? Woo!
I'm honestly so stoked that we don't have to wait till December. I was honestly feeling like a little bit depressed about that. About how it's like I was going to have to go all the way through November, like playing the same decks and the same cards against the same decks and the same cards. And then to find out that we get an expansion November 17th, that's amazing. I'm happy.
Yeah, it's
really
way better than December, but still, it's just like right now, it's just like everyone's just counting down the days. It's like, oh man, 2 more weeks, man. Fuck.
There's some really good news we have for you guys, chat, and you, D-Money, is that we get new cards revealed on the 3rd, which is 2 days from now.
That's true.
So starting on Tuesday, we're going to be looking at new Madness cards, and we can get hyped about that. So that's right around the corner too. So reveal season is there.
That's a lot of cards in a short amount of time, right? Like I feel like normally it's like a full 3 weeks, 4 weeks of like cards being hit, and we have like what 2 weeks ish, and that's just it's a lot quickly.
Yeah, that just means that next week's podcast is going to be filled with some talks about the new cards, and I think we're going to also have a special guest. I think we're going to try to get a special guest on here to talk about those new cards. Yeah, that should be fun.
I'm excited.
But I think we're going to go to. We are actually doing very well on time today. Probably because the meta has just stayed the same, but I feel like we're going through these topics at a good speed as well. And we're gonna we're gonna go to the chat, the Q&A right here, guys. So if you see on your screen here, you are on the TV right now, guys. All right.
My God, guys, you're also part of the podcast.
Yeah. So, if you guys have any questions about anything, please type them in chat right now. I mean, preferably Hearthstone, and we will answer whatever questions that we find suitable for answering. And this is a good time to shout out our podcast that's on Hype Horizon website here, the hypehorizon.com. There's a link right there if you want to find our podcast on there right now. We're officially on the Hype Horizon website. There's a tab for podcasts, and then you find the Metabreakers right there. And you can listen to last week's episode on there. You can see it on YouTube, I think, as well. I'm not sure. But yeah, there's your spot for the most recent episodes, the past episodes, and then you'll be able to also hear us on your favorite podcast platform, whether it be iTunes or whether it be Spotify or whatever it is. You can hear us on there very soon. We're getting that done pretty soon, and yeah, that's exciting stuff.
Yeah, we're waiting for the thumbs up on the iTunes side of things, but once we get the thumbs up, it's gonna be there. The first Hearthstone podcast that you can listen to on any of your Apple products. It's gonna be sick.
That's pretty cool.
Well, it's not the first Hearthstone podcast.
No, well, I don't think there's. I've looked up Hearthstone on iTunes podcasts, and it doesn't, and it just comes up with things that mention like the game as like there's not like a consecutive week by week Hearthstone podcast that exists. So
that is very cool. Then
we're breaking the mold.
Do you think Polkelt might be in for a nerf, being able to tutor out the old god cards? I mean, it's really hard to tell right now. Like until we see all the cards, it's really hard to speculate what would really be too overpowered. I mean, you're really not going to know until you actually play with the cards too, right?
I don't know if that is very likely either, because like the negative part to having 10 drops in your deck is what happens when you get them in the early part of the game. So they're just nothing for like 10 turns. So even if Polkelt makes it so that you can tutor it immediately, I mean, that probably doesn't rationalize that like it's too powerful, you know? Like the cards are probably going to be kind of balanced just for being such a cumbersome mana cost still, you know?
I mean, you say cumbersome. I see Rogue and I see fucking Wand, and Wand makes things 0 mana. So they play Polkelt, they play Wand, they draw 10 mana things for 0 mana. Feels cheap, man.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on like what they come out with. If they come out with like new ways to cheat out cards, then it could be an issue. But I mean, we're hoping that they have planned around it, and they know what cards are in the mode, and they don't create something that would be hazardous for all of us.
I also have Joy Buzz. He could be useful.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. So he can
so you can just run all 4 gods, and then you just run Joy Buzz, and then you run like I don't know. That's it.
1 mana, spin the wheel? Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can just run them all though, right? Because like
I mean, I will. What's the worst that could happen? I have all 4 Egyptian god cards in my deck, Seto Kaiba.
Your deck literally has no weak cards. No pathetic cards.
You guys know that's the
To the
flavor
chef.
text of Cthulhu, right?
Yeah, you said that last week.
Okay. Just making sure.
No, I had a question, Draco, while we wait for additional questions. We had some about the portraits, and you were talking about how it'd take like giga years to get all the portraits. Did you discuss how like it would work better, faster, stronger? Like,
No, but I think we should definitely talk about that for a second. So with the battle pass system that comes out, they're going to have these upgradable portraits that come out. I'm sure you guys have probably heard this to a degree. But someone on Twitter found out when you're going to be able to choose different ones and how much, how many hero portraits you can unlock. And the answer to that was you get to choose one hero to unlock and upgrade per battle pass sequence. And a battle pass sequence is going to last as long as there's an expansion. So that means that you can get 3 heroes in a year. So whatever you pick with your battle pass, when that comes out, make sure you pick a class that you care about unlocking.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to wait
it only
another
takes 30
3
months. So
get
it's
to the
only
next
30
one.
months and you get all the heroes, right?
Yeah, 30 months and you'll get them all.
That's a steal. That's a steal.
I mean, and you have to reach the end of the thing. And buy it.
I mean, do you not reach the end?
I mean,
D-Money?
I will. It's just I know there's a lot of casual-ish players out there, so I'm just looking out for the common man.
Yeah,
Or
that's
woman.
That's a good question from Laxmare. What are we looking forward to the most in the new expansion? I'm looking forward to there being more comical themed Demon Hunter cards like Stelina and things like that, because I'm tired of them all being like edgelord cards.
Are you
like
saying because
Chaos
Stelina's a
Clutch.
joke of a card because nobody plays it? Is that?
Well, yeah. I mean, she's not great, but I like the art style because the Demon Hunter cards are always like so serious, and I want them to be more fun. You know what I mean? Like Vengeance Rat or something like that, and stupid things like that. Like I want and I'm sure that with the theme of Madness at the Dark Moon Fair, there's going to be a whole bunch of silly Demon Hunter cards. That's like, like I don't know, like some character with like the eye band eating a funnel cake or something like that. And I'm about that. I want that kind of cards in my deck. I want that kind of art. Yes. So that's what I'm excited about. What are you guys excited about?
All right. If we looked at the meta, those bottom classes, Shaman and Warlock, let's pump them up a few percentage points. So any card that gets printed that helps those bad boys out, I'm all for it.
I mean, so far, I just want to spin the wheel. But besides that, I mean, I'm just excited for a whole new meta. I just really hope that it like changes up a lot and then like puts us in a good place for the rotation that's going to be coming next year, the first set of next year.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really sure what to be excited about yet. I mean, once we see it, then I'll start getting all giddy. But
yeah. Spinning the Yogg wheel will be fun though.
Yes.
Like I'm excited for the games that my opponents lose from spinning the wheel and hitting the pyroblast. I'm excited for those situations. When it goes the other way, I'm not looking forward to that.
But also content.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Warshack, where did you get your shirt?
Oh,
if you want to show it on stream,
I think I got. Oh, yeah, it's Pac-Man, but he's the sun, and then the planets are the little things he eats. Yeah, so it's like a little solar system thing, and he's just like, mer, 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 mer. But Jinx, I got it from Jinx. They have a lot of cool stuff on there, but I always gotta wait for those deals because their stuff's kind of expensive.
Do you guys think we'll get another new hero?
I do not think that will be happening. That will happen at probably. When did they release Demon Hunter? Was it at the beginning of the year or end of the year?
Beginning of the year.
All right, they'll release it not next year, but the following year we'll get Monk or Death Knight.
Death Knight
definitely wait 2 years.
We'll get the new class when a competitor comes out that's actually competing against Hearthstone viably, or the player base is in such a insane decline that they need to do something to get people back into the game. That's when we'll get the next new class.
I mean, honestly,
I think it'll be in 2 years. I think it'll be 2 years. So we have like a year from now, which would be not this upcoming year, but the following. So
honestly, like after seeing the shit show that Demon Hunter was on release, I'm very scared for a new class. But I mean, there's no way. There's no way if they release another new class that it's going to be an aggressive class, right? There's no way. So
well, monks can do everything, and so demon, and then also blood knights can do. Is
Everything.
it blood knight? They can tank, they can DPS, but monks can do everything too, basically, besides range DPS. So, I don't know.
How do you guys
Death
operate
Knight,
at
not
the beginning of a
Blood
new
Knight.
meta with building your own decks? Like, that's a good question.
yeah, so I mean, I love, like, that's like my time to shine is like at the beginning of a meta. Like I feel like that's when I feel like I'm a really good deck builder. Not to toot my own horn, but I feel like I can make very good decks at the beginning, and that'll put me at an advantage against other people because they will build more suboptimal decks, I guess. So I usually like to build. I like to build 2 decks for each class. What I do, I do have a stream. I usually do it like the day before the expansion comes out, but I might do it earlier this season because of the mega bundles that they're giving away for deck building. But I usually devote like a whole stream to building 20 decks, and it takes like 8 hours, and like it's so freaking long. But
Yeah.
it's like it's fun. It's fun theory crafting. I enjoy it, and I do it with chat. So like chat usually has like 500 IQ ideas sometimes. Usually sometimes.
How about you, Rob?
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
mean, for me, I normally always try to set. I start with like the classes that like have the most spark. Like, so I always like wanted to try like warrior at the start because they have like sometimes a really cool legendaries. But I kind of go where the flavor is, or any new cards that like have huge potential and need to be built around that potential. So, for example, Kingsbane was a great card that you would basically build your deck around this single card, and that's an entire new deck archetype. Meanwhile, cards like Bear Off, you don't build your deck around Bear Off. She's just a card you would include into an already powerful deck. So I try to look for like key cards that you can build your deck around, or maybe 2 key cards that work together, but then need support cards in between them. And then whatever class has more of those, or ones that I find interesting to the control play style that I like, I tend to lean towards those.
Yeah, we came up with a cool sequence for what we wanted to do for the release of Scholomance. I think I'm going to do that again. And that's instead of streaming the game or playing on ladder, I generally do like a big open Discord call with a whole bunch of members of my community, and we play all of our homebrew decks that we all built against one another, which is really fantastic because there's a lot of really great players that are part of this community. So I get to basically practice like my Demon Hunter decks, like in all of the different variants, and like keep tuning it against other great players playing their decks. So I do all of this before I ever even go into ladder. So I'm not tanking like a million ranks or something like that, trying to figure out how to make my deck good. But it's really nice for me trying to build the best Demon Hunter deck I can make, without learning the hard way of people kicking my ass a whole bunch of times. So
That's what I do. Rip,
yes.
rip legend points.
You'll get them back. All right. I think that is all for the cast here. Unless you guys have any see anything else that you want to talk about real quick. Up to you.
I think we're good.
All right.
I think we're good. I'm excited for next week's podcast when we get to talk about the new cards and possible combos and stuff.
Yes, it will be a good time. I would like to shout out our co-hosts here. We have D-Money. No, I'm kidding. We have Warshack. We have the Warshack here with us. Very lucky to have him on the cast with me here. Here's his shout out in the chat right there if you want to check out his channel.
Ooh, I got it. Check this out right here. I have this perfect thing to post. It's beautiful.
Thanks to Deku Boy.
Deku made it for us.
Deku gave us that sweet pasta.
Oh.
Boom.
I'm going to have to add that as a command. Thank you very much. Yes, if you enjoyed the podcast and you'd love to give some love to the co-hosts, there are their channels in chat. I would really appreciate it if you check them out. Also, members of my team, Hype Horizon. And like I said before, you can find our podcast on the Hype Horizon website there. Always a pleasure, guys. Thank you for joining me here. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure as well.
Thanks for having me
Thanks
as well, guys. Have a great day and enjoy your Climb a Legend. And I'll see you guys next week. Peace.